But the question I wanted to ask, mate, was that the movie itself starts when you're in your mid-teens. You seem very much alone. You're very driven. You're in this little council flat in Birmingham. What we don't see anything of is the little boy who ended up in that council flat. The one clue we got was the fact that in one photograph we see you as a skin. You are a fucking skinhead.
Yeah, that's right.
So is it that you didn't want to talk about your earlier life, or if you're happy to do so,
no,
who was this little boy who became that boy who ended up in the council
totally
flat?
transparent. I'm happy to talk about anything. I think, you know, there's a picture of me with my dad, which is probably, there's only 2 photographs that I had. And my dad passed away when I was 13, and I think that had a big effect on me, and perhaps that's where the insane drive comes from, you know? I wanted to be recognized, I wanted to be accepted, and so on. And I left home when I was 16, and first of all, slept at a friend's house, and, you know, eventually got my own place. And at 18, you know, I was a skinhead. It's a group, it's like a family, you know? Support system and identity with some other kids that probably didn't have a good background or whatever. And at 18 years old, I got sent to a detention center for some minor thing, really. But anyway, I found myself in a detention center with a few hundred other lads. And I'd already done a bit of weight training when I was at school, and I liked it, but, you know, I was more or less half living on the street, so I couldn't pursue it. And then I went into the detention center, a few hundred guys, and they had weights in there, you know. It was quite a military regime. You had to march everywhere, and you had to do sports, and you had to do weights and everything, try to, like, you know, short, sharp shock, they called it, trying to get us to toe the line. And I was doing weights in there, and I quickly recognized, and so did the prison officers, and so did the other inmates, that I was stronger than everybody else and had a better physique. And I got a level of respect off everybody that nobody else was getting. And I found this was something I'm good at. And I didn't have at that point think, well, I'll be Mr. Olympia or anything like that. I just thought, this is something positive, and I want to do this, and I don't want to come back to this shithole again. You know, I was in there with guys. I remember one incident, and one of the guys in there, and the prison officer was giving him a bollocking about something, and it was like, if you don't change the way you're behaving, the way you're thinking, you're going to be in and out of prison all your life. And the guy just looked at him and says, I don't give a fuck. And I thought, well, I definitely do, you know, and I don't want to do that. And funnily enough, I see the guy around sometimes, and that's a true story. He had spent his life in and out of prison. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't relate to that. And I got something here that's very positive, and I put my energy into this, and something positive is going to happen. That was as simple as that. And I started training, not to get bigger and stronger, you know, I was always feeling okay like that. It was to get out of the, you know, improve my life and do something positive. And it wasn't a feeling that I would like to do this. It was a feeling I literally had to. I had to do it. And I almost feel like I knew, in the back of my mind somewhere, I knew what I had to do, and I knew what the possibilities were. Although it was a little bit in the back of my mind, I knew it. I didn't really say it to anybody, you know, but I knew. And once I got on that path, I didn't look back. I mean, I didn't, not in a bad way, but just my mates were still going drinking and partying and everything, and I just couldn't do that anymore. I just got to work and get money and go to the gym and get my food, and I didn't have a car until I was 26 years old. I was just catching the bus. Every penny I had was going towards this, and I'd sit on the bus and read the magazines and just constantly dreaming. So I probably, without knowing it, knowing what I know now, I was just constantly projecting all the time, and you know, I believed it so much that it actually became reality. Although you know, I had to have the physical tools to do it. You know, not everyone can be Mr. Olympia. So I had the physical tools, but how many people out there have the physical tools? I've been in gyms all around the world, and I see guys, and I think that guy could just be a freak if he just, you know. But they didn't want to put the work in, and they didn't put the absolute dedication in there. Perhaps they had more comforts than me. Perhaps they had a nice family. Perhaps they had things around them. So I think if I had a comfortable upbringing, I probably wouldn't have had that drive inside, perhaps, you know. So the childhood was probably the catalyst for this whole thing happening, as a lot of things are in people's lives, you know.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.